It's been 12 months since acquittal, and so much has passed us by. Such a scattering with evidence, and some blatant flat-out lies. Special new prosector, and Hank Breeden is his name. He is a dirty Boston lawyer, and his arguments are lame. He's trying to squash all of our experts, as he has no case to claim. He should have won an Oscar medal to convince the court he's sane. He can lie without a conscience and keep that smirk upon his face. I bet he wears those silky undies, the ones with edging made of lace. And Judge Beverly Academy is so biased for the state, is wading through 100 motions in a rush to seal my fate. So you can bring in Massachusetts, cause we all ain't got no quit. And we all know that the truth is my car is not the thing John hit.
Oh, I typed in bring it Massachusetts, and YouTube rejected my comments.
They're like, no, Massachusetts sucks. We're not accepting that. We don't feel that.
Audit that.
You know what? It's happened to me a couple times. I've typed in chat and it's like deleted by Google moderator team. And I'm like, what is that?
I've typed in something really, really innocent and it wouldn't let me. And then one of my mods typed in, YouTube can go F itself, and it let it.
But the Google moderator team has it out for me. What is this?
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, Fat Girls Need Love too. Hello, CC.
I love that name. Good morning, my darling.
Oh, I do too.
My little buttercup munchkin.
Buttercup, my sweet little buttercup.
Oh, and I managed to coerce Tanya from After the Facts to be our little fact checker whilst we're streaming, because I think we need someone in the background. If someone pipes up and says something, I need someone to go and check.
That's great. Yeah.
So,
it's wonderful. So we're not doing it live.
It takes so much time.
It does.
And the momentum of the stream goes, and yes. So
that's great.
Big shout out to Tan from After the Facts, and I have replaced a banner with something else. So I will make a new one forthwith because I haven't got the link because I'm an idiot.
You're not an idiot. Stop. You are putting so much pressure on yourself. You're doing so great though. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Here, I'm going to give you a hand. There you go. I'm corny. I know. Look, I was so stressed out about the stream and everything, and I'm really stressed for Karen, which probably sounds ridiculous.
I know. I am too.
I'm really stressed for Karen that on my stream yesterday, I was doing a stream where there are people that still have good hearts, but they opened up a plastic bag and someone had thrown away a bag full of newborn kittens. And they were rescuing them. And I burst into tears. I burst into tears. And it was just all that built up from everything. And I sobbed like, I'm talking Britney Spears cried. I was like that. And I had tears dropping off my face.
Live.
I did it live. Yes. You cried about the kittens too. I'm sorry, Teresa.
I didn't see it, thank goodness. I haven't had a chance to watch anything else at all. But at least you didn't fart during
I will never confirm nor deny. But I bawled.
There was no getting out of it. It was either pop it on the chin and own it. Yep.
You should have said, "Did y'all see that elephant walk behind me?"
Oh no. It was the perfect. It was like the perfect timing because it was like I was looking for a sound effect of a drum roll.
Oh, I've seen your short.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it to be as voluminous as it was, but once it started, I was committed. Oh,
well, you owned it, and that's what
I owned it. And then I gave myself a super chat for creative. What was it like? Improv or something like that. I sent myself a super chat.
You are a mess.
Yeah, what can I say? And we decided yesterday watching that the hearing for the Karen Reid, the motions hearing, and we 7 minutes. We thought it was lunchtime, and it went for another 7 minutes. So entree, we shall go for 7 minutes. And I actually think this is about, I haven't seen it, but I think it's more about Aiden's, because it's Bradle that's up.
Yeah.
It's got more to do with Turtle Boy, I think. I'm
curious to see what happens, though.
Yeah.
Court is back in session. You may be seated.
Did she make a ruling on the ARCA guys?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hi, Mr. Brennan, do you agree that Mr. Kearney has a Fifth Amendment right?
Everybody does.
I was going to say, what?
I think he has a Fifth Amendment privilege. I don't know that he has a Fifth Amendment privilege to all questions we would ask, but the content that we would go into, I think he clearly would have a Fifth Amendment privilege.
All right, so you're not asking for a Lumen Martin hearing?
I'm not. I think I necessarily would have to
What's
delve
that?
into issues regarding his open indictments against a number of different victims.
Okay.
And I think there's other information that I can't discuss for other reasons.
Do you know what that is?
I do. I'm going to pull up the legal definition because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a hearing based on the fact that you have committed crimes in this area of a hearing, so they can forthwith your Fifth Amendment privilege and make you testify on such matters.
Okay. So does that account? Does that like cover things like spousal privilege and all that sort of stuff as well? Good morning, Brooklyn.
Good morning, Brooklyn. That's a good question. It doesn't say.
Well, I suppose it would anything to do with the Fifth Amendment. Then it would overrule.
You can't be forced to testify against your spouse on anything.
So which amendment does that come under?
That I don't know where you can't be. What amendment? What amendment?
Yeah.
Okay. Spousal privilege. What amendment is spousal privilege? Let's see. Spousal privilege is not an amendment, is a law. Okay. Spousal privilege is known as marital privilege, husband and wife's privilege, and it is a defined law, so it is definite.
So they can't be forced?
No.
We don't have that over here at all. You can dib it over all you like. All righty. Let's see what this twat has to say.
Because of court orders.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I would suggest that the court could take judicial notice of the 16 indictments against him.
So the Commonwealth concedes, and I believe there's a valid Fifth Amendment right. So
just allow me to make the representation.
I'm sorry to ask you to pause it. Can you pause it for just a second?
In fact,
like even Brennan didn't bring out the Lumi Martin privilege. She brought that to his attention.
Yeah.
And she shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. But then she said that she believed he had a right. So I don't know.
Yeah, but she kind of backhandedly said, "Oh, you don't think he has that privilege?"
She's pretending to be fair now.
Yeah.
Vote invoke his Fifth Amendment privilege. Commonwealth agrees to it. I ask that you just allow me to make the representation and leave it there.
Oh, sure. Is there any objection for everybody hearing this?
There is. I would like Mr. Kearney to Smith.
I thought you wanted a basis. No, I'm going to see Mr. Kearney here at sidebar with just
Oh.
you, Mr. Bradle.
Thank
And
you.
all recording devices are off.
Thank you.
FTR goes to sealed, Tori and Chrissy.
Oh, so we missed 7 minutes and it's no audio. Do you know what? That's my luck this week. Right there. That's how my week has gone.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, Brooklyn. Yes.
Stood up once for the rules, yeah? Yeah.
Well,
Hey, bud.
I think she realizes how many eyes are actually on her, and now she's playing the game. But I don't know, too little, too late for me, really. Oh, look, that's a fan. Oh,
You know, if
right.
she starts following the rules, I'll give her all the props she deserves. I will. If she's fair. She's fair, I will give her all the
Did
kudos
you
she
watch
deserves.
Turtle Boys? The hearing that was on, I think it was yesterday. There was
I
another one.
I didn't watch him yesterday. I had so much going on and I had to work, and
Yeah. With
two of the channels I worked for streamed at the same time last night.
Yes.
It was the same courtroom, but a different judge to do with the messages or something.
All
And that
right, so
judge,
Mr. Brennan, I've just had a
like watching that hearing to this, that judge had absolute control of the courtroom, like everything. He shut Brennan down. He directly asked him things. He told him what he wanted to the and would not allow any none of this BS. And I'm like, I wish he was on this case. I really do, because he is wicked. I'll see if I can find it.
colloquy with Mr. Carney, with his lawyer present, obviously. I find, and the Commonwealth concedes, that he does have a valid Fifth Amendment right. I find that there's a valid basis for him to invoke that Fifth Amendment privilege. And I find that if he were called to testify, he would in fact invoke that Fifth Amendment privilege. So based on that, he will be exempt from the sequestration
Hello, my
order,
darling.
except as to
Hello, my little blossom. the only good thing about Discord is here.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
So they're not going to make him testify. That's a good thing.
Well, if he did, they had to sequester him. So,
In other words, shut him up.
there you go. Look, who's that?
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that.
Yeah. And then there's that.
Yeah,
Here's
I'm
what
going to
I
do that
said
when I get
earlier.
paid tomorrow.
Oh, look, the stuff that they do and the stuff that they provide for nothing. Yeah. Get on and do it, peeps, especially if you're into, if you use them for documents. They have, it's like a one-stop shop. It's like, what is it? The Walmart of Discord.
Except for Made in America.
Well, rounds is always welcome here, Missy. Is she? Which one?
She's not vaping. She's talking into that thing, making he's being funny.
I mean, hang on. This one.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see that one there?
Yeah, he's just being funny.
Someone said that yesterday too. How does it look like they're vaping or not?
No.
Like that?
Cheeky's one of my regulars. He's just being cheeky.
Can I just actually, whilst I remember that, you can vape, but you can't smoke, can you, on YouTube? Is that right?
Row upon row of murder supplies.
Is that true, Mandy?
What's that?
That you can vape on a live stream, but you can't smoke?
You can smoke. It's looked down upon.
I thought it was.
You just can't smoke anything other than cigarettes.
I didn't think you're allowed to smoke cigarettes.
List of the named witnesses.
You can't
who have
light it
current-
on
who are the
screen.
alleged victims in the current
I know,
indictments.
it's so,
I accept those findings. We'll provide the
Really?
court with a list of the named victims. We also would like to have the
Yeah.
court consider the 2 minors in that list.
Oh, yes, I think I did that last time as well.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, so is that it for today?
Judge, if I may, just for the record, maintain the same objection.
I vaped in hospital the whole time I was there.
you can't do either within the first 7 minutes.
Oh, we're past that.
Yeah, you can't do
I
either
had at
within
the
the
last
first 7 minutes.
trial. Don't need to make any
Oh,
further commentary
sure.
on it, just in case there's any further action, which I don't anticipate right now,
Okay,
but just for the record, thank you.
okay. All right, so we're all set until Tuesday, I believe. I'll get
Thank you.
orders out. Oh, stipulations were just given to me. I have not had a chance to read them. Do you, all right, this looks like you all made some progress in a way that where the jury will be happy that you've cut down the amount of time that they may be here otherwise. Okay. Anything else today?
Always.
The only thing I would ask
course,
Thank
honey,
you.
to
Always.
consider is with regard to the speaker, the reader issue.
Oh, okay.
If the
Yeah.
Commonwealth intends to
This is
to go
bullshit.
forward with that, I would ask that that be put in a formal motion so we have something to respond to. I think research on that is in order.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Doesn't have to be lengthy and
And it is something that we've done.
right, understood. I would like to see what I'm going to have to look at what the law in Massachusetts is.
Yeah, when? I want to
So
see,
parameters
I want to
are.
look up the case.
I think because of the potential prejudicial effect on Ms. Reed, I'd like to have something in writing. That's all.
It is in the extrajudicial motion. If there's something separate the court wants briefed, we're happy to do it, but it's already in the motion that we provided regarding extrajudicial statements.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. We'll see you Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right, to the court, please.
See, that's what we missed. Never mind.
Wow.
Yeah. Meh. Well, you can look that up if you like, because I've got a few little presentations. But the first one I would like to do, it's Bri Bear's wedding day today.
Oh, congratulations, Bri Bear. Why do
I-
a reader? You know, Cece,
Ah.
I think that it's just, I don't think it's law. I think it's just something they're preferring to do.
There's got to be a catch. There has to be a reason. He doesn't do anything for nothing.
Yeah.
There is a reason behind it somewhere in there. He'll sneak something in.
I don't
But,
think that's a law I can look up. I think that's just I think that's just a preference. It's said to cut down on dramatic effect.
No, what did you say just before? I think I have to look that up. Before? Just
I don't remember.
the law in Massachusetts about it. Didn't you say?
Was it spousal privilege?
No, like just 2 seconds ago when we were watching that, you said, oh, I have to look that up. No?
I don't remember. I don't remember saying that.
We were talking about when Alan Jackson stood up and said, I'd like to have something in writing and see what
He was talking about the
law in
reader.
Massachusetts. Yeah, what the law in Massachusetts was. And
Does it say that there is a law about having a reader? Is that because that's what he was talking about?
yeah.
Oh,
But I
let's
thought that's
see.
what you're referring to. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Let's look it up and see if there is a law.
You can have a look while I put this on.
It's Bri Bear's wedding June, so I don't get a copyright strike. Congratulations, they're all out.
Did you hear my words?
Yeah, that's why I don't get a copyright strike. That's so funny.
This is Bri Bear's wedding tune.
This is Bri Bear's wedding June, so I don't get a copyright strike. Congratulations, they're all out.
That is hilarious.
And I read, I amended the message that was on the bottom of the thing, and it says, "May your love grow stronger with each passing year, and may your life together be filled with endless love." And I wrote, "Oh, blah blah, naps, lots of naps, laughter, more naps, no drama, peace and quiet, and multiple orgasms." That's what it should mean. So that's my little tidbit. So, Mr. Brybear, to you and Madison, I hope you have an amazing day and a wicked ass rest of your life together. Congratulations. Yay!
Congratulations, guys. Happy for you.
Yeah. All right. That's done.
Brooklyn, they didn't say. They said they were going to try to get a neutral party to do the readbacks.
Or didn't they say a police officer?
Plainclothes police officer, I think, came up as a potential. So there are several times in Massachusetts this has happened, that they have gotten a neutral party to read back text messages.
I'm not surprised at all. All right. Now, I did another little thing up, which took me for far too long than it should have. But it's to do with the prosecution, because we're going to try and face my objective today was to focus on the prosecution and break it down a bit. And this was only going to be one of the parts of a few things. And it took me so long to procure it properly, which, anyway. So I'll play this. I need to have a read without. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think it's just John and Karen's messages is what they're looking at reading. I think everything else that they're going to let the lawyers provide, if I understood what they said correctly, which is possible I didn't, but if I understood what they said correctly, there's nobody to present John and Karen's messages fairly. So they're going to have a readback. Which if it's just John and Karen's messages, I have no issue with that.
Karen could read them out.
She is not taking the stand, and she shouldn't. She shouldn't if she is smart, which I know she is a very intelligent lady. She shouldn't take the stand.
So this leads on from the motions hearing yesterday with the fireworks between Jackson and Brennan about the ARCA witnesses.
Okay.
Well, again, I think this going back to the scene of it.
Hang on, I have to read it because I had to end up printing out what I had on the screen because it didn't effing work. So, so whilst you're watching this, I just want you to ask yourself one thing. Why? Why is the tail light evidence so damn important to the Commonwealth, and it's such a huge factor in this case?
Yes, fat girls, this is ARCA.
This is ARCA. This is one of ARCA. So there was three people were called by the feds in their investigation of the Commonwealth's investigation of the incident with John O'Keefe. So they knew nothing. They were told nothing. They were given a set of facts that were basic facts with no other information on who, what, when, and where. They were given the request to, because they're crash specialists, crash reconstruction experts. They're like, if you saw crash the first one, their CVs, like it took 20 minutes to read them out. Like they've got so much knowledge, education, experience, training, the whole lot. They're like the top of the line, right? So their credibility could not be attacked. Their bias could not be attacked. So another way, because they are his biggest threat, because they blow everything out the water. And if they get up, which he doesn't want them to do, their case is based on this vehicular pedestrian collision, and they have to prove it. The burden's on them. So this is part of one of the ARCA witnesses, Daniel Wolf, who is talking about why what they did with their reconstruction and why they did what they did, so to speak. So play, Jodie.
Evidence. Again, we knew that there was glass fragments, what appeared to be from a drinking glass, at the scene of the alleged incident.
Is there any glass consistent with the glass that was supposedly found on the bumper, in the taillight housing, the taillight mechanism, anything from the car, the Lexus, that would account for that glass?
Okay, I think I understand. So the taillight itself is not comprised of any glass. It is all plastic. So that damage, or I should say that glass on the top bumper cover could not have come from the right taillight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, based on your review of the information that was
Got
provided,
a Temu offer.
did you undertake any testing of that vehicle? I'm sorry, any testing concerning the damage to the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you describe what that testing was?
So we performed, again, this is with Dr. Rentschler and I working together on this.
Dr.
Again,
Rentschler
we performed projectile testing to the tail lamp.
Dr. Rentschler is the second of the ARCA witnesses. The third person they chose not to take the stand, which is another thing that Hank's going on about. He wanted to know why. Like, they can choose who they freaking want on their witness list, you dipshit.
With a drinking glass as well as a hybrid head form.
Let's take those one at a time. The
hybrid head form.
Describe the drinking glass test.
Certainly. So, again,
like your
from
older
our
brother,
review of the
how old are
evidence,
you?
We knew that we had an isolated portion of damage to Lexus confined to the taillight. So we know that we're dealing with potentially a small object that could have created that. Looking at, again, the evidence in terms of the scene.
Look at him smile. He's so excited about his work.
Damaged drinking glass at the scene in the vicinity of the fragments of the taillight. So the theory that Dr. Rentschler and I put forward is potentially an individual threw this drinking glass at the back of the Lexus, causing the taillight to fracture.
I'm going to interrupt you right there. You and Dr. Rentschler formed that theory and wanted to test that theory, correct? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You were not told that theory by the defense because you've never met us?
Nope.
Correct.
You were not told that theory by the Commonwealth. You've never met them, correct?
Nope.
Correct.
Your theory was the product of simply having some facts extant in the data. You had a broken drinking glass, a broken taillight. Let's put them together and figure out if the drinking glass could be responsible for the taillight and vice versa.
Fancy that.
Absolutely, yes.
And that was your determination of, well, we were given instructions to reconstruct this. Let's look at every single angle, correct?
Absolutely. And I will note, as part of the engagement with the entity that retained us, we were asked not to do any outside research or investigation of the case. It was to be based solely on the evidence that we were provided.
Okay. As a matter of fact, and importantly, while you were doing your testing, had you ever even heard of the Karen Reed case?
No.
So getting back to that testing, and I interrupted your flow, you were looking at whether or not the glass could have produced the damage to the rear taillight that you saw, correct?
Correct.
And what did you do in furtherance of making a determination about whether or not that was possible?
Certainly. So myself and one of our lab technicians at ARCA, we designed and developed a pressurized air cannon. So it was capable of firing a projectile such as a drinking glass at the taillight. So it essentially you think of it kind of as a giant cannon, but it had a barrel, and then there was a valve that would open rapidly, and directly behind that was a pressurized vessel. And depending on the pressure, the PSI of that vessel would determine essentially the speed at which that glass would be projected into the taillight.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But they could actually
look at his face. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But you know what? People have run with that and just gone, they just made a cannon and like there was a reason for it. And they could control the speed that the projectile came out of that cannon to.
And that's the important part, right? Yeah.
Yeah, to be able to reconstruct it effectively.
Pretty cool job.
Look at those.
Results of your testing.
Pretty cool job.
This pneumatic cannon would fire.
Do you remember watching this? Do you remember watching? Oh shit!
I do remember watching this. Yeah, I remember watching it live.
And Beb's expression, like the way she was looking at him.
Yeah. He's adorable. I just want to pinch his cheeks.
He's got the biggest dimples. and I clicked the wrong start.
From the right taillight.
Now, based on can you describe what that testing was?
So we performed, again, this is with Dr. Rentschler and I working together on this again. Looking at, again, the evidence in terms of the scene photographs, we know that we have a damaged drinking glass at the scene in the vicinity of the fragments of the taillight. So the theory that Dr. Rentschler and I put forward is potentially an individual threw this drinking glass at the back of the Lexus, causing the taillight to fracture.
I'm going to interrupt you right there. You and Dr. Rentschler formed that theory and wanted to test that theory, correct?
Yes.
You were not told that
Is
theory
that good?
by the defense, because you've never met us.
Okay.
Correct.
You were not told that theory by the Commonwealth. You never met them, correct?
Correct.
Your theory was the product of simply having some facts extant in the data. You had a broken drinking glass, a broken taillight. Let's put them together and figure out if the drinking glass could be responsible for the taillight and vice versa.
Absolutely, yes.
And that was your determination of, well, we were given instructions to reconstruct this. Let's look at every single angle, correct?
Absolutely. And I will note, as part of the engagement with the entity that retained us, we were asked not to do any outside.
Thought of something.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm late to the game and I'm stupid, just tell me. So they're saying like John got mad when she pulled away and threw the glass at the car.
They were trying to come up with other alternatives as to what could have caused the tail light to break, because there was glass found on the bumper and at the vicinity in the crime. So they didn't know how, like, because it's such an isolated area of damage, just the tail light with no damage to any of the bumpers or the quarter panels or anything else, how that could have happened. So they first tested the glass, and they had the human head thing they did as well, to try and reconstruct if that was possible. So, but this is just for the tail light, for the glass. I only recorded that bit.
Gotcha.
Research or investigation of the case, it was to be based solely on the evidence that we were provided.
Oh.
Hey, you Dev.
While you were doing the testing, had you ever even heard of the Karen Reed case?
No.
So getting back to that testing, and I interrupted your flow, you were looking at whether or not the glass could have produced the damage to the rear taillight that you saw, correct?
Correct.
And what did you do in furtherance of making a determination about whether or not that was possible?
Certainly. So myself and one of our lab technicians at ARCA, we designed and developed.
I thought you were avoiding me.
We don't know.
Avoiding me.
Oh, that's understandable.
I thought you got scared.
Work comes first.
Bollocks.
Developed a pressurized air cannon. So it was capable of firing a projectile such as a drinking glass at the taillight. So it essentially, you can think of it kind of as a giant cannon, but it had a barrel, and then there was a valve that would open rapidly, and directly behind that was a pressurized vessel.
That sounds like a cannon to me.
The pressure, the PSI of that vessel would determine essentially the speed at which that glass would be projected into the taillight.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Tell me what the results of your testing was with this
Yes, it should be.
cannon that would fire the drinking glass.
Certainly. So we
Sorry,
performed
two
different tests in terms of speeds. The target speeds were 30 and 40 miles per hour.
Yes, we're not talking about that anymore.
With consultation with Dr. Rentschler, he indicated that is a reasonable speed at which an adult male or an individual, for that matter, could throw a drinking glass at the taillight.
Okay, I don't know why I missed that part in the first trial. Yeah, okay.
There's so much I missed.
Let me see if I can rephrase that. Had anybody indicated that there was any evidence whatsoever that John O'Keefe had thrown a drinking glass at the taillight?
No.
Was this another example of you and Dr. Rentschler and your team just exploring sort of every possibility and working a little bit in the blind?
Objection.
Sustained.
What was the reason that you decided, or you and your team decided, that you wanted to approximate how a grown man could throw a glass at a taillight?
Well, I think we wanted to have an understanding is when a projectile such as a drinking glass interacted with the taillight, would we get damage on the test taillight that was consistent?
That explains the other glass being on the bumper. Wow, I really missed that.
Were you able to
look? Toxic Orchard missed it too.
On the taillight?
Yes.
Describe that for us.
So as I mentioned, we ran 2 tests. The target speeds were at 30 and 40 miles per hour. And there was a little bit of variability in terms of what our target was and what we actually achieved. So the achieved speeds were at 31 miles per hour and 37 miles per hour. So there's just depending on how the glass leaves the barrel and some of the rotation can affect some of the speed, or ultimately the end result speed to that. So what I will say, though, is that with the 37 mile per hour projectile into the taillight, we noted and observed that there was damage that was consistent with that of the subject tail lamp, and that the test tail lamp had the majority of the outer lens fractured and missing, broken into pieces, as well as some underlying damage to some of the internal components as well.
Are you saying, well, let me ask a different question. You were able to replicate the damage to the taillight using a pneumatic cannon firing a glass at 37 miles an hour directly at the taillight, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that would also shatter the glass too, correct?
Correct.
Did you do any testing about whether or not
What?
Oh, okay. It went sideways. Here we go.
Well, again, I think this going back to the scene evidence. Again, we knew that there was glass fragments, what appeared to be from a drinking glass, at the scene of the alleged incident.
Oh, fuck, we go back to the start.
Taillight.
had anybody up to that point, told you let's see if I can rephrase that. Had anybody indicated that there was any evidence whatsoever that John O'Keefe had thrown a drinking glass at the taillight?
No.
Was this another example of you and Dr. Rinchler and your team just...
Would we get damage on the test taillight that was consistent with that of the subject taillight?
Understood. So based on your theory, were you able to approximate the damage on the taillight?
Yes.
Describe that for us.
So as I mentioned, we ran 2 tests. The target speeds were at 30 and 40 miles per hour. And there was a little bit of variability in terms of what our target was and what we actually achieved. So the achieved speeds were at 31 miles per hour and 37 miles per hour. So there's just depending on how the glass leaves the barrel and some of the rotation can affect some of the speed, or ultimately the end result speed to that. So what I will say, though, is that with the 37 mile per hour projectile into the taillight, we noted and observed that there was damage that was consistent with that of the subject tail lamp, and that the test tail lamp had the majority of the outer lens fractured and missing, broken into pieces, as well as some underlying damage to some of the internal components as well.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
He is so smart, it's scary.
Are you saying, well, let me ask a different question. You were able to replicate the damage to the taillight using a pneumatic cannon firing a glass at 37 miles an hour directly at the taillight, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that would also shatter the glass too, correct?
I'll answer this in a minute.
Hang on.
Did you do any testing about whether or not...
Oh. See what I mean? It's when I type something on my keyboard, sometimes it goes off to some weird ass place.
It flipped it.
We noted and observed that there was damage that was
All right. Go on, you can answer.
No, I was going to wait till the end. I'm not going to cover another case gavel to gavel until the Carmelo Anthony case. and then I will cover every second, every piece of evidence, everything about that case because it's disgusting.
What is it about?
It's 2 teenage kids at a track meet, and one brought a knife and stabbed the other one in the chest.
That's just recently.
Yes. But they just let the murderer out on bond, and his parents used the bond money to buy a mansion and a nice car.
So that's not going to be for a couple of years, that trial.
Everything was recorded. They think they'll go to court as soon as August or September.
Oh, okay. The next one I'm covering, and it will be audio only, is the Aussie case, the Erin Patterson mushroom murderer. She's an Aussie. And that's down here in Morwell in Melbourne. It's about an hour and a half away from me. It starts the 28th of April. Yep.
Brooklyn, you can take care of her. You're a mod. Go ahead. I don't know why she's not showing up here. Go ahead, Brooklyn. Have fun. Play with your food. Oh, Boston is a troll. Boston just needs attention because her daddy doesn't love her.
Is Boston in chat? In
my chat, yeah.
Oh, I can't see it. Why can't I see all of it?
Stabbing someone in the chest. I don't know why you can't see it. That was happening yesterday too.
Normally I should be able to see everyone. Shouldn't I?
Yeah. I don't know why it's not coming up on the main feed.
Don't know. I'll
Consistent with that of the subject tail lamp, and that the test tail lamp had the majority of the outer lens fractured and missing.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it, honey.
As well as some
not important
underlying damage to some of the internal components as well.
Can't you block her?
She's not even important enough for a mouse to click.
Let me ask a different question. You were able to replicate the damage to the taillight using
or it's Jared Boston,
firing a glass at 37 miles
and he's not important enough for a mouse click either.
Correct.
And that would also shatter the glass too, correct?
Correct.
I've got all live replay
about whether or not
it come up in my chat. It's fine. I took care of it.
Stop again. Fuck me.
There you go.
Our projectile into the taillight, we noted and observed that there was damage that was consistent with that of the subject tail lamp, and that the test tail lamp had the majority of the outer lens fractured and missing, broken into pieces, as well as some underlying damage to some of the internal components as well.
Oh, it's because it finished.
Are you saying, well, let me ask a different question. You were able to replicate the damage to the taillight using a pneumatic cannon firing a glass at 37 miles an hour directly at the taillight, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that would also shatter the glass too, correct?
Correct.
Did you do any testing about whether or not?
I think that was some of my issues with trying to upload it. But basically, what the crux of it is that, well, my issues that I have with the importance that Brennan has put on this is because why would you go to all the trouble of attempting to conceal this piece of evidence that could actually prove her guilt? Like, why the Sally Port videos? Why not putting any CCTV, looking for CCTV footage? Why altering anything to do with that taillight? Why?
Why not get the Ring doorbell footage of the next door neighbor?
That's right.
Why have they not done that?
Why Why not?
Yes.
You would take every photo possible, every angle, if that was the case, wouldn't you?
And that's supposed to be his job, is to put forth a fair and accurate.
Why? But everything that's dodgy is related around these bloody pieces. You know, he didn't leave that. He didn't secure the crime scene so that they could put shit there. They reversed the Sallyport video to make it look like it was the other side, and they didn't play with it. You know, like
Whatever
just,
you'd have.
Had to unsubscribe. Who did you unsubscribe to?
I'm guessing me.
What? Oh. So their entire case pretty much hinges upon the theory that, or the allegation of a pedestrian vehicular collision. And they need to prove that there is a connection between John and that taillight without having any evidence. There's no DNA. They have a hair and a glass fragment. And Arca blows all that shit out the water. They're his biggest threat. They can replicate an alternative explanation. They have credibility. They have knowledge, resources, no bias, despite Hank's innuendo. And
Right, exactly.
On top of being easy on the eye, they could cost Hank his conviction.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why he wants them gone. End.
They are dangerous to him. They really are. Because
they are his biggest threat.
That glass being on the bumper that's not part of the tail light. Hey,
where did you come from? And
no, when I type in the main chat, it comes up as everybody. Sorry. It comes up as me, you, and Dan, because we're all three logged in.
Yeah, but you can select yourself at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I totally knew that. Sorry. I
didn't say anything.
my bad.
I'm like, Dad's in the chat. What's going on?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
To me, it has nothing to do with politics or race.
This case?
No, the other case. Nothing to do with politics, race, anything. It just has to do with right and wrong. But anyway, there was a video that Fat Girls Need Love 2 wanted me to show. Do you mind if I pull it up?
Sure.
She is very interested in the case, and that makes me so happy. I love it when people are just getting into it and have a very expressed interest. She wanted to see, and you're gonna go, oh gosh.
Who's this? Fat Girls Want Love 2?
Yeah. She wanted to see this clip of Michael Proctor on the stand. I've got to find the exact one. Here it is. This, yeah. Oh, Oh, wow, good. I found the exact one. All right. You mind if I bring it in?
No, go for it.
Yeah.
Can you put it up on?
I think so.
Yeah, you should be. You're an admin.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Knock your socks off.
Video that you watched several weeks ago. I want to make sure I'm clear about this. You indicated that the video that you watched was proper in terms of orientation, but the timestamp on the bottom had been inverted, correct?
Yes, that's the way it appeared.
And you recall that being a yellow chyron underneath.
To the best of,
in other words, the font color.
To the best of my memory, yes.
Which of the Canton Police Department videos were you responsible for retrieving, if any?
I did not retrieve any of them.
So what I'm trying to ask is, and maybe I'm doing it inartfully, how did those Sallyport videos end up in the possession of the Commonwealth? What was the line of succession?
Detective Lieutenant Tully retrieved the Sallyport videos, I believe.
And do you know from whom he retrieved those Sallyport videos?
I believe it was the chief of police.
Okay, Chief Rafferty specifically gave him whatever videos were provided.
Correct, that's my understanding.
And then he provided those to you for your review.
Yes.
I want to stay on the subject of videos for a second, but shift gears to the Ring video footage. You've already testified that there were several hundred Ring videos from One Meadows, from both the facing the driveway and the front door camera, correct?
Yes.
As the case officer, you obtained and controlled those Ring videos from One Meadows from the moment that they came into Massachusetts State Police custody until they were handed over to the Commonwealth, correct?
Yes, they were archived.
You drafted the search warrant for the Ring video access records, correct?
I did.
You obtained the warrant returns once those search warrants were executed, correct?
I did.
You took possession of Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone physically, correct?
Yes.
And you had access to Mr. O'Keefe's Ring account in that cell phone. Is that right?
Wow.
You indicated that you reviewed several of the videos on his Ring app on his cell phone. Is that right?
Yes.
Right.
He had
So
possession of his
there
cell
was
phone.
there was issues with that. There was issues with that ring cam. There was time missing, and
There's a video missing too of her showing back up at the house.
Karen didn't have access to that Wi-Fi or to the Ring. Like, they'd searched the Ring camera, and apparently couldn't find any reason for it. And he had it. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that he probably shouldn't have been going through that phone until that warrant was secured.
You think? And so what's this new video? Do you know what the new video is that's coming out?
New video on the new Karen Read video?
Yeah, the new evidence that you said was going to be at this trial.
Yeah, it's the video of Brian, what's his name? The FBI agent. Yeah. And it's them at the waterfall. They come in together, John and Karen, and Brian's there, and he is texting Karen's phone, blowing it up the whole time, and she's ignoring him. And she texts back, "Stop." And so he starts screaming from the other side of the bar at John, "That's my girl, that's my girl, that's my girl." And John jumps up, and because he's seen them kiss on the camera apparently and knows that it happened. And they start screaming about Karen, and he tells them, "We're going to 34 Fairview, meet me there." And that's
who Higgins said that.
Yeah. That's the new video that's going to be released from Waterfall. So I'll try to find it while this is playing.
So this is from the first trial. How did I miss
this? This is from the first trial. Yeah. Fat Girls Need Love 2 wanted to see this. This is where he talks about saying that he hopes Karen Read unalives.
This is before the text messages then. Before all the balloon knot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of his login account information to get into the app on his cell phone. Is that right?
Let me see if I can find the video.
I don't think we had the password. We had his email account associated with the Ring.
Which means some way or another, you could get access to the Ring videos.
Correct.
And watch those Ring videos on his app on the phone.
Yes.
Which means you had full access to the app. You could keep videos.
Delete.
You could save for later. You could delete videos. You could do anything you wanted to within that app, correct?
Yes, those are the capabilities within that app.
Trooper Proctor, did you delete any of the Ring videos ever?
As if
on John O'Keefe's phone?
I've got it. I've got it. After this,
delete a video of Miss Reed arriving to One Meadows at approximately 12:41 a.m. on January 29th, 2022?
Absolutely not.
You will agree, Trooper Proctor, that the video of Miss Reed returning home from 34 Fairview at approximately 12:41 a.m. is not there.
Correct.
As the case officer, you're aware that Trooper DeChico also reviewed some or all of those videos, correct?
Yes.
And he did that at your request.
Correct.
He took notes of his review of those videos, correct?
Yes.
And then he provided those notes to you so that you could then memorialize those notes and your notes in a broader report that you then drafted in November of 2022, correct?
And you wonder why they want the
If
metadata.
memory serves me, the report I wrote regarding the Ring camera was based off my observations of the videos that I had watched.
But you certainly did have, as you just indicated, you did accumulate his notes and review his notes as well as your own notes, correct?
Best of my recollection, I wrote that report off of my notes.
Did you actually, at any point before writing your report, did you?
Boston, don't come in my stream. I realize now why you can't see him because I have him blocked. Don't come in my stream and tell people how to act. Okay? Don't. That will get you booped really quick. I'm trying to be nice and let you stay here and let you form your opinion. Because he has an opinion about the case. And if he wants to express his opinion about the case, that's fine. But don't tell people how to act in here.
Did you note or did you review his notes?
I want to be able to see.
I can't recall.
You asked him, he reviewed the videos at your directions, correct? At
Yes.
your direction, correct?
Yes.
And obviously he would have wanted to provide you whatever insights he had into his review of those videos. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Correct.
So when you reviewed his notes, did you see that they were on some sticky pads? You remember that?
That sounds about right.
If you've blocked them, how can
Do you recall exactly, as you sit here, exactly what was on one or more of those sticky pads that you reviewed from Trooper to Chico?
I don't know.
Hey, Tony.
Refresh your recollection if you would take a look at a copy of those notes.
Yes.
I signed in under my boss's name.
Who?
Yeah, you are?
Yes.
Jason, Dear Woke Christian.
You have?
Yeah, that's how I was able to see. Hey, Tony, will you take care of Boston for me? Go ahead and block him.
Yes. We have zero tolerance here.
If you would mind taking a look at the top or the uppermost top note that's highlighted with a sticky note next to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Teresa's itching.
Oh, she's thinking I have the honors. I'm sorry, Brooklyn.
Okay, sir.
You can have the next one.
Oh, there'll be more.
Super Proctor, do you have these notes in mind, specifically the uppermost note?
The 0041?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. You reviewed this previously before you wrote your report, correct?
Yes.
All right.
The trigger finger's ready.
At 0041, which is a time relative
Troll
to
trigger finger.
what Chico was looking at on the Ring video, he indicated taillights from driveway, parentheses, I think she arrived home, in parentheses, correct?
Correct.
And
0041 is what? What's that in reference to?
Just after midnight, the approximate time where Miss Reed will be returning from Fairview Road.
It's military time for 12:41 a.m., correct?
Yes.
You wrote a report on November, I'm sorry, I earlier said November, it's actually June 1, 2022, memorializing the times that were of note to you in that Ring footage, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall every single entry that you made concerning the events that were of note to you that were reflected in your...
We have a code sign in.
The majority of them.
Yeah.
We don't, every single one.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at a copy of your report to determine what all you did and did not note?
Yes, sir.
That's your code
Do you have it
sign.
with you, Trooper? Do you have your report with you?
What's wrong?
Okay.
If I type that in chat.
No, we ought to just leave that up there. That's great.
I'd ask you to review that report, especially as to page 2 and 3.
Yeah. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Got no issues with that. But you start making it personal, bye-bye. No need.
What's wrong with people?
Oh, look.
May I approach?
Yes. Apparently X is worse.
Trooper, do you have those events in mind?
I do.
You press pause. Look, the cat dragged in. Hello,
Oh, sorry.
sir.
The cat dragged in. Sorry.
Oh, fucking stop it.
Stop. Sorry. I was trying to help.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
You've been MIA.
Yeah. I got a high temperature and had to go into hospital.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm back home now. I was just in there overnight.
Is that where you went to last night?
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, we can take care of this for you. You rest.
Yeah.
Because of I will do. I'm not staying long. I just wanted to come by and say hello. Because of my heart condition, when I get a high temperature, it can be a problem for me. So
Yeah, I forgot about your heart attack like a year and a half ago or something like that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Have you got AF, Dan?
Yeah.
You know what else you got? Crappy microphone syndrome.
Yeah.
It's okay. We got this. We're not going to be on very much longer, I don't think. So it's all good.
Take it easy, sweetheart. And we'll see you Tuesday. Have a lovely Easter.
And you lot, see you Tuesday. Have fun. Remember, and remember, audience, give them lots of grief to make up for me not being here.
They are. We're already getting trolled.
Good.
Bye.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Ta-ra, That's how they say goodbye. Ta-ra, love.
Ta-ta, love. Later.
Ta-ra.
Your report is dated June 1st, 2022, correct?
Correct.
And reflected in this report are the bullet points of the times that you found of some note in your review of all of the ring footage from One Meadows, correct?
Yes. I haven't got
in your
one
report,
yet.
There's no mention of the footage showing Karen Reed arriving home at 12:41 a.m., correct?
Correct.
And that's notwithstanding the fact that in Trooper DeChico's report, in his handwritten notes, he makes note of an event at 12:41 a.m. indicating, I think she arrived home, correct?
Correct.
So sometime between when Trooper DeChico wrote his notes and when you wrote your report, that video footage vanished, correct?
There's also no date on Trooper DeChico's notes. We have many dates from ring video, so I don't know if he's referencing a different date.
Well, you're aware that the video footage from 12:41 a.m. is gone, correct?
Yes, it's something I've tried to find through ring for months, as well as the video when Miss Roberts, Miss McCabe, Miss Reed arrived back at John's and they're looking at the broken taillight. That video is gone as well.
So at some point,
tried to find it. I tried so hard to find it.
Police custody and being reviewed.
I just don't know where it is.
That video existed.
Objection.
The objection is sustained.
Well,
Mr. Jackson, don't wave that again. Okay?
Yes, sir.
I've lost my.
The fact is, notwithstanding Trooper DeChico's handwritten notes,
Oh, excuse.
there's no video of 12:41 and January 29th, is there?
No, there isn't.
Of course he did.
Trooper Proctor, would you agree that from the very beginning of your investigation, you treated Karen Reed very differently than you treated the Alberts and the McCabe's in this case?
Oh, there was definite bias there.
Was she treated differently?
Absolutely not. We've, like I said before, we followed the facts and the evidence, an open mind.
Would you consider her to be, for want of a better phrase, an outsider?
This is true. This is true.
No, not at all.
But he
Not
had it
somebody from
first.
Canton.
No, not at all.
That's true, Tony. Other people did have opportunity as well, but it was in his hands first, and he was the lead investigator. So that puts it all on his shoulders. That makes him responsible. It's kind of the way I look at it. Crap runs uphill in this kind of a situation. Just like he's ultimately responsible for what happens to evidence that it's under his control.
But then Tully
Not
should
family.
be responsible too.
Yeah, Tully is responsible too. He absolutely is.
Friends with the Alberts.
Absolutely not.
At some point, your view of this case caused you to turn what could be described as bias into an out-and-out hatred. Would you agree with that?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you develop some sort of hatred for Ms. Reed at
Objection.
any point in your investigation?
I'll allow it.
Again, we followed the facts and evidence which showed Miss Reed hit Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle. And yes, at times I got emotional because of that. And I said some stuff,
Bullshit.
texted some things I shouldn't have. It was based off the evidence.
As a matter of fact, you did express your feelings about Ms. Reed in yet another text message that we haven't gone over today. Is that right? On February 4th, 2022? Might as well turn to tab 10.
Tab 10?
It's either the bait stamp or the.
This is a triple F, as in Foxtrot. And the base stamp is 2526.
Yes, sir.
You see an entry from Courtney Proctor, a text starting, I didn't give my.
Yes.
Request permission to publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
2526, Mr. Bates.
Mr. Bates. Sorry.
On that date, February 4th, 2022, your sister texted in relation to some sort of donation that she had given. I didn't give my name as I didn't want anyone to link me to Michael, meaning you, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Okay, take that down.
May we approach, Your Honor? This is going to make us look really bad.
You see the text from Courtney Proctor. I did not give my name as I didn't want anyone to link me.
So that's stricken. That's what was objected to, just this one, or the whole page goes in.
You responded to a text message from your sister, correct? And your response was, hopefully she kills herself, correct?
Yes.
Who's she?
This is it.
The defendant.
Miss Reed?
Correct.
You literally
This
said
is the
that you
night
hoped that
of.
Karen Reed, the
The
subject
night
of your
of.
investigation, the woman sitting to my left, about 7 feet from me, that she would just die, correct?
The figure of speech.
You wanted her, the figure of speech.
No, it's not. It's not a figure of speech. You literally said what you said, and be a man and own it. It's not a figure of speech.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It's not a figure. What exactly? What was the figure of speech then?
Yeah.
You were being sarcastic because you weren't. Sorry. Not a figure of speech.
Is you wanted her to kill herself,
No.
right?
No, it's not.
Look at Karen's
Trooper
face.
Proctor, Karen Reed, in your investigation, had quickly become a very serious problem for you, hadn't she?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you believe that Karen Reed was a problem or an issue for your investigation?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No, absolutely not.
In your words, quote, all the powers that be want answers ASAP. That's what you texted on January 29th, right?
Yes.
That put a lot of pressure on you, didn't it, Trooper Proctor?
There's a lot of pressure in every case, sir.
This case involves a Boston cop whose family you were actually connected to, correct?
Loosely.
Chris L. Loosely.
Yes.
Julie
He
L.
denied knowing
Loosely.
Yes.
Brian Albert.
Colin Albert. Loosely.
Yes.
Kevin Albert. Loosely.
Yes.
Loose enough to leave his badge and his gun in your cruiser after a night of drinking, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
You agreed in your group chat that you needed to, quote, make this cut and dry because another cop was involved. Those are your words, right?
Objection.
Where is this?
This was referred to in earlier text messages, group chats. This
So is that right? Did you say that, sir?
I did.
He was so distraught about what had happened to John. What was it that he texted to Courtney? What did he say? I found an icicle in the snow or something.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't go to the crime scene. He went straight to the hospital to view John's body in the ER. And in his testimony and his deductions, his powers of deduction, and all of his investigative experience, he deduced that it was a pedestrian vehicular accident because John only had one sneaker on.
Well, then that open and shut. Open and shut.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, fat girls need love too. We all got emotional too. It's a very emotional case.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
It gets worse when you figure out any of us could be Karen Reed.
And this bias is the night of when he's going through our phone.
It just happened. It just happened.
Yeah.
Text that. I don't know if it's in the exact context. But yes, those were my words. Yes, that was in the group chat.
Your friends wrote this whole thing in their words, stinks, correct?
Yes, I interpret that as a joke.
You believed, Trooper Proctor, that your life would be much easier.
Death of a police officer is so funny, isn't it?
Didn't you?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No, like I said, it was a figure of speech. My emotions got the best of me based on, the fact that Miss Reed hit Mr. O'Keefe with her.
The other thing I wanted to say that I tried to upload today was, in the 911 call, Jen McCabe was saying there's a man down in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
In her testimony and cross-examination with Alan, she gets so head up about him badgering her. She states, that's when she says, it was a hysterical scene, and I was in a state of shock and horror, and everyone seems to forget here that my friend was lying dead in the snow.
And I get this point of view, but that's not what he has said at all. I think he's angry that it's fell in his lap and he has a crap show to clean up. That's what I think.
This is the night of the incident. How has he deduced that? How? This is that night.
Yeah. Nothing he ever said indicted he was trying to frame her. No, I don't think he was trying to frame her. I just think
he's trying to cover up Brian Albert.
I just think that he is very unprofessional.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that Proctor was trying to frame her. No.
No.
No, I don't think he was trying to frame her. I just think he was very unprofessional and was not cut out for this job. That's what I think. But that's my opinion, which isn't meant for very much.
And that's why he was chosen.
Yeah. They're going to scapegoat him so hard. The prosecution is. Mm-hmm. They're going to throw him straight up under the bus.
Oh yeah, he's their scapegoat for sure.
Yes, he was fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was fired. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now he's got the 3-letter alphabet agencies looking at him. YouTube doesn't like it when you say their letters, but yeah.
Vehicle and left him to die on the side of the road. So my emotions got the best.
You can say feds,
with the figure of speech.
Well, let's talk about your figures of speech.
You just can't say the letters because YouTube doesn't like it. I don't know why. YouTube's weird. You're weird.
Objection.
Is he then liable for civil action?
A whack job, correct?
Yes.
A retard, right?
He said that? I don't remember that.
Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember that.
It gets worse.
Objection.
Is that right?
Yes.
A whack job, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A retard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Her balloon knot leaks, right?
Yep.
Yes.
No ass.
She's not IBS.
Yes.
She's fucked, according to you, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Ass leaker. That was the word you used, a figure of speech, right?
Yep.
Correct.
A girl who shits herself, right?
Yep.
Correct.
And then fuck her, correct?
Correct.
Would you agree, Trooper Proctor, that you have dehumanized Karen Reed during the course of your investigation with comments and words like this?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I'll give you this one, Mr. Jackson.
Would you agree with that?
I would say based off that language,
Bev made him read out his own texts.
Yes.
And you admitted, in your own words, that the cop homeowner wasn't going to, quote, catch any shit, right?
Correct.
Because you were out to quote,
you too, David,
make this cut and dry. Isn't that right?
the homeowner was going to catch any shit because Mr. Elder had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death.
Because you were going to make sure that the case was cut and dry. Those were your words, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
And Trooper Proctor,
I think Alan was reading there.
Far easier for you to pin it on the girl who's just a whack job cunt, in your words, who you hope just kills herself.
Yep.
Right?
Objection.
Sustained.
Shame on you, sir.
Yep.
Objection.
All right, so jurors, disregard that. I've told you before, lawyers can't make comments. They can ask questions.
He
And
just
Mr.
fucking
Jackson,
did.
you know better than that.
That's all I have.
He doesn't need to say anymore.
Wow. Is that not? That is just.
Yeah, Bev made him read all of the text messages, and he didn't want to say the C word, but she made him.
Because it was in the text.
I found this this hearing with regards to the text between Karen and Turtle Boy to show you the difference in the judges and how they control the courtroom. I love this judge.
Can I play this real quick from the waterfall? It's a short. It's only 1 minute long.
Yep.
It's called "What Happened at the Waterfall." I think this is it.
Oh, this is the new one.
Yeah. This is the new one. This is what has already been submitted into evidence. Okay. All right. So this is them at the waterfall. I think this is the one that pops up the text that explains everything. So look at the time and the date. Okay.
11:57:28. Yeah.
Oh wait, I think I've got it sped up. Let me slow it down. I'm gonna slow it down just
Slow
a
it in
little.
further, yeah.
Okay.
So which one's Higgins?
Higgins is the bigger guy there, I think.
And where's John? Is that him coming from the bar now into scene to?
No, I think that's just some random guy. So that's John and Karen over there. See,
Okay.
and that you see him throwing up his fist and motioning for him to come over there.
Is that Higgins or is that?
That's Higgins. That's Higgins in the left circle, and that's John and Karen over there in the right circle.
Okay.
That's when he started screaming, "That's my girl! That's my girl! That's my girl!" And then he tells him, and that's John getting up now to walk over there. You see, John? And then Chris Albert grabs Higgins and pulls him back. And then Karen pulls John back. You zoom in on John after Albert and Higgins appear to leave. I don't know why they're doing that because it doesn't really show anything.
I can't see anything with the ad thing in the way.
I know. But yeah.
But they've got audio for that one.
They do.
Yep.
They do. Let me see.
Well, does Microdots have a?
Let me see if this one shows.
Chris Albert yanks at Brian Higgins' arm. Brian Higgins hollers out to John O'Keefe. They do make eye contact. Have a look. The full video is over on my channel. So chilling right before John O'Keefe loses his life. Chris Albert yanks at Brian Higgins' arm. Brian Higgins hollers out to John O'Keefe. They do make eye contact. Have a look. The full video.
Okay, I guess that's it. But yeah, so this one.
No, are you gonna have a look at her channel? Have a look at the one on her channel. She said the full video is on her channel.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, sure. I'll have to pull it up in my history because I closed it. I don't know. Let me look at my history here and see who that was.
Should be able to click the bottom right with the.
Okay, yeah. Let me see who that was. Here it is. True Crime. Oh, that was True Crime Jodie. Oh, my bad. I didn't know that's who that was. Let me go to her channel. Oh, that's True Crime Kangaroo. Okay, let's look for. All right. I don't know what she would have called it, John.
Just pull up that short, and in the bottom of that, it should have her.
It doesn't link to the. It doesn't. I'm on her channel. I'm just looking for that video, John and Brian. What happened? I'm looking for the full video. Oh, I guess this is it. Yes, Lord. Okay, here we go.
Oh, Microdocs does have a copy too. I've got it. It's all right. We'll play it next.
Your father, your mother, your sister, and Mr. Higgins' arrival.
Not Lally?
Where did they congregate home?
In the same area that we were, in the dining room, in the kitchen area.
Brian Higgins,
my
Lord
mom
John O'Keefe
got home.
fight
I know
is what
she
it's
went right to cleaning because she likes to clean. So she was in the kitchen picking up.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were all just in that one area.
And
I don't think this is the right video.
Their arrival back at the home,
It's
who,
not
if
the right
anyone
video.
else, showed up at your home that particular evening?
Yeah.
Karen and Brian Higgins, pub waterfall. I think it's John O'Keefe. I want to see the fight video.
Do you want me to put up Microdocs one?
Yes, if you have it, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Percent share screen.
Yeah, it is strange, David. It's weird.
Actually,
Oh, it's zoomed in too. I love microdots.
Yeah. I'll slow it down.
Okay, good.
And I'll see. Not available. But yeah, it's zoomed in. What did he call it? Enhanced.
Cool.
It's only just over a minute. But yeah. So this
Still
is
longer.
start.
So he's screaming at him.
That's Colin, and that's Brian. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Brian there, and Colin's grabbing his arm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that him and Brian were so close.
Drunk idiots. That's what they are.
I don't know. I think the Albert and all of them. I think they are a gang.
Yeah. Look at him
screaming at John, and then John ends up unalived. Literally a couple hours later.
Mm-hmm. Look at him.
So look, he's telling him to come over. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So he's telling him to meet him.
Is that Brian Albert to the left?
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, man, it's chilling, I'm telling you. Apparently, they were threatened at the bar, and that's why they didn't release the footage till after the.
So why? Then all right. So that's well and good, but my question is, why didn't Karen say anything about that? Was she not?
I don't know. Maybe she didn't think about it or didn't know about it.
They were at the bar while he was yelling this, and the text messages came out. So,
and let's be honest, she was drunk.
Surely she would remember him yelling.
Well, she did tell them that they told him to go to 34 Fairview, and she was mad that he wanted to go, and that's one reason why she said she would hang around for a few minutes and see if everything was
to make sure that they were welcome, because she didn't hear.
Well, he was trying. Well, my understanding was that John was trying to de-escalate things, and that if he was able to de-escalate things, they were going to go in and hang out. And if he wasn't, that she was going to leave, that they were going to leave, whatever. That's why she was waiting in the car. That was my understanding. But if I'm wrong, then it's just hard with Karen not getting on stand and explaining everything and going, look, guys, this is what happened. You know, it's hard.
Yeah, well, what my interpretation of what the trial said in trial 1 was that they'd pulled up at Fairview, and because they weren't part of this regular social group, so to speak, and they didn't know them very well, she was questioning whether or not she was invited because she hadn't heard actually anyone say out loud that she was welcome. That's why she sent John in to double check, and he was supposed to come back to her with an answer, and that's what she was waiting for.
And she got mad that he didn't come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she just left.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't just leave my man somewhere. I'm not trying to give Karen any crap, but I wouldn't just leave my man somewhere.
It's a house full of strangers. You've texted and called and there's no answer.
Then I'm knocking on the door. But everyone's different. Yeah. And she's not a confrontational person from what I understand. And she just would rather.
I don't know. She's got balls.
She does, but that's that's different from being confrontational. Willing to stand up for yourself is different than being confrontational.
The other thing I don't understand is Ryan Nagel pulled up right behind her. I only saw her in the car, yet nobody in that house saw John.
And that's kind of what I was thinking, David.
And then
she's just not thinking straight.
In Jennifer McCabe's testimony that I was watching yesterday again, she was watching that car from 12:30 to 12:47. And she said she looked at that 15 times in that time. And she noted that the car had moved forward and that the car, when it had left. And that between 12:36 was the last time that John's phone moved. And so she's got the alibi for Karen. She can see her in the bloody out the front in the car.
Yeah. It's insane.
Actually, I brought up let me see what I've got on there. Oh, that's right. This was the AI thing I looked up from the trial that I'd put in all the shit.
Destruction of phones and SIM cards. Innocent people don't do that, right?
Hey?
I was looking at number 3.
Yeah. So this is reasons why she, from the trial testimony, why she was innocent.
Brooklyn, you're so sweet and innocent. Come to the front of the church. Come to the front of the church, Brooklyn. Chloe went to live at a home upstate. And do we know that for sure? No, we don't. We have seen hide nor hair of Chloe.
Nor hair.
Well, maybe a hair, but we don't know where Chloe is. Supposedly, they have a mold of Chloe's mouth. I don't believe that is a mold of Chloe's mouth.
It makes no difference anyway.
No more than I believe that this is a Coca-Cola. I don't believe it. I don't.
Chloe's teeth would be completely different now, years later. So there was lack of body damage to the vehicle. You can't hit a 6'4" man at 26 miles an hour and throw over several feet without damaging something else other than the tail light. The other lack of physical injuries to John, apart from the head laceration. She had, as Karen said, no bruising on the abdomen. His arm couldn't shatter. No, not with those superficial scratches that would not shatter that polycarbonate. I've been able to recreate this, but people have tried bashing. Oh, there's a few videos out there that this other guy has been doing. He's new, but he's really good, and he's reconstructed arms and elbows and tried to smash it. Yeah.
You think that's bad? I know you've seen some stuff on it yesterday. Let me pull up another disturbing picture for you there, David. I know you saw that yesterday. Let me pull up just a picture. Just an image. Let's just pull up an image. Here we go. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Can I pull up an image real quick? Do you mind? If I can get it. If I can pull up the big image, I want the big image. Boston Herald. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. See, present share. I have to talk it out, or does it happen? Yeah. Here you go. Here's another disturbing image for you. I'll have to remove yours first. Sorry. There you go.
Can you send
there you go. That's red Solo cups full of blood in a ShopRite bag. Yeah. Now that is professional detective work. That right there is cups full of reasonable doubt. What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
They weren't.
And like David said, the leaf blower, let me just throw evidence all over the place.
Hang on, have a look at this. You see in my background, my red Solo cups.
Oh.
Right there. Yep. So just this last one was
they talked about how they went to the bar and got drunk, and one of them even left their
gun and
badge in somebody else's car and called them and said, "Hey, did I leave my gun and badge in your car?" And he went to his house, not handed it to him, but put it in his mailbox. So who cares if some innocent little child comes by on a bicycle and picks it up, shoots himself or somebody else? This town just really needs to be dismantled and rebuilt from the ground up. It really does. It's in bad shape.
The McAlberts remembered the seating chart at the waterfall and what everyone was drinking, but can't remember basic timeline details. John had no frostbite.
I didn't say that at all. Those words didn't come out of my mouth. I said it was the definition of reasonable doubt.
Actually,
and I also said she was drunk too. She was. They were all plastered.
I will play something for Mr. Udahef because I don't think he had the benefit of it.
I need to go in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that we'll wind this up. This is just a short.
Okay.
I think I did as a short. Yeah, here we go.
Ms. McCabe, I want to go back very briefly to something you said just before we broke, and that was in respect of the statements that you attribute to my client out of the scene. You said, well, there was an officer possibly asking questions, or it could have been a female EMT, and I wasn't answering questions about that, correct? Hence, you didn't say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Can you be clear on your question?
Let me rephrase that.
No.
Before we broke a few minutes ago, you had said, the reason I didn't say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, is because I was never asked. And the subject never came up about what an officer asked her when she declared that. So I just didn't offer it. And then you said, or it could have been an EMT.
Yes, I'm unclear who was there.
Isn't it true that at the grand jury, the question that
Thank you, David. Welcome.
Council, page 208.
Thank you, David.
The question that was posed to you is, quote, so what happens next with yourself, Ms. Roberts, and Ms. Reed? And your answer was, so there are different, police officers getting statements from us. At one point, I'm standing with Ms. Reed, and she's saying, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? And there was, I believe,
hey, Prince
an
Jedi.
EMT,
How you doing, hon?
a female, standing right next to me and listening to her yelling, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? Was pretty much nonstop. Remember that testimony?
I do.
So in point of fact, you were answering the direct question about what happened in front of the police officer and the EMT, correct?
There were multiple police officers and multiple EMTs
Answer that
present.
question,
So now
bitch.
this is another police officer and a different EMT.
I'm not saying that.
Okay. But nowhere in this did you say that she declared the words,
I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
You never said that.
Correct.
There you go. She never fucking said it. Never.
She admitted it right there.
That's come up from the last trial, between the last trial and this one. That has evolved like one of those Chinese whispers, as the fucking clickbaiters do, and being made into a confession.
Because we all ain't got no quit.
Yeah.
That was stuck in my head last night. I was getting ready to take a shower. I was getting ready to take a shower, and I was going,
I love it. I did not. I'll give me 2 minutes on this video. I want you to see the difference in this judge.
she admitted she didn't say it. Right. She didn't say it to the grand jury. She made it up on the stand. If it didn't get said to the grand jury, then it doesn't count.
She admitted that that's what she said. That was her testimony in both trials, the trial and the grand jury, because he was calling her on it. She did. She said it correct at the end. Now, where's my link? Present. Share screen. So this is the text message, just the start of the motion.
Well, they don't take it seriously. They don't take it seriously. Go listen again. Okay. Will you play it again? But there's something more important going on here. If I could just have a second.
Mm-hmm.
Prince Jedi comes into the chat. Then Fat Girl Needs Loves Too says his name with a heart and big eyes. And then he tells her how much he likes her name. And then she throws up a little emoji with hearts and heart eyes. So let's just focus on what's important. I think there's a love connection going on in the chat.
At this stage.
The question that's posed to you is, quote, so what happens next with yourself, Ms. Roberts, and Ms. Reed? And your answer was, so there are different, police officers getting statements from us. At one point, I'm standing with Ms. Reed.
Now, she's quoting right now what Karen actually said.
And she's saying, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? And there was, I believe, an EMT, a female, standing right next to me and listening to her yelling, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead?
And he is reading her testimony, like a transcript from the grand jury testimony back to her.
It was pretty much nonstop. Remember that testimony?
I do.
So in point of fact, you were answering the direct question about what happened in front of the police officer and the EMT, correct?
There were multiple police officers and multiple EMTs present.
So now this is another police officer and a different EMT.
I'm not saying that.
Okay. But nowhere in this did you say that she declared the words, I hate him.
Nowhere in this.
Correct.
Nowhere in this did she say
police
the
officer.
Nowhere in this did you say that she declared the words, I hate him. Correct? We'll agree on that.
Correct.
Right there. It's right there. It's It's right there. It's the last word she says.
All right, check this judge out. I love him. I wish he was doing this case.
Morning, Your Honor.
Is this
Brennan for
Aiden's
the
judge?
Commonwealth, relative to docket
Dana.
00117.
Good morning, Attorney Brennan.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Robert Cosgrove. I'm a special prosecutor on the Aiden Kearney cases, and I suppose for purposes of this motion, I'm the respondent to Rule 17 motion.
Good morning, Attorney Cosgrove.
Good morning.
Hello, Your Honor. Timothy Bradel for Aiden Kearney. I see him on the Zoom for the record.
Good morning, Attorney Bradel. Good morning, Mr. Kearney.
And Mark Federer for Mr. Kearney. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Attorney Federer.
And good morning, Judge Attorney David Yannetti for Karen Reed, who is also present on the Zoom.
Good morning, Attorney Yannetti. Good morning, Ms. Reed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Little, also on behalf of Ms. Reed.
Good morning, Attorney Little. Anyone else here that we need to recognize before we proceed? Doesn't seem so. Okay. Folks, we are here on two related matters this morning. As an initial matter, we are here because there seems to be some confusion concerning my order of March 20th on docket 615 on the Commonwealth's Rule 17 motion. Also, we're here because there has been a motion for protective order, docket 636, filed by intervener Kearney, and so we will hear that as well. So with regard to my order, let me start by saying this. Going back to Attorney Brennan's affidavit filed in this case on March 5th, 2025, in support of the Commonwealth's motion for records, Attorney Brennan, you specifically stated that, quote, it's been represented to the court by defense counsel Bradel on behalf of Mr. Kearney that there's an implicit long-term mutual assistance and mutual defense agreement between counsel for Mr. Kearney and counsels for this defendant, Reed. On the basis of that sworn statement, I specifically inquired of you, Mr. Brennan, at the hearing on this matter last week, do any of the three categories of documents and data that the Commonwealth seeks by the Rule 17 motion include communications with Mr. Kearney and counsel for the defendant in this case? You replied, no, these would be privileged. So based on these representations and the court's belief that there were no privileged materials implicated by the Commonwealth's motion, I ordered that all communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed during the time frame in question with regard to these three articulated categories be produced. However, subsequently, the special prosecutor in Mr. Kearney's case, in possession of the documents in question on March 26, informed the court that, one, there are, in fact, a substantial number of communications within the documents and data requested that are indeed communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's counsel. And moreover, the special assistant district attorney in that case took the position, contrary to the one asserted by Attorney Brennan in this case, claiming that those communications are not, in fact, privileged. So my order did not specifically exclude from production communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's counsel because the court was told there were no such communications, and in any event, the Commonwealth acknowledged that they were privileged. So my first question is to you, Attorney Brennan. Respectfully, did I misunderstand you, or perhaps vice versa? In other words, I understood that you weren't requesting the production of any privileged communications, to wit, communications between Mr. Kearney and Ms. Reed's counsel. And as such, if that is the case, and we did understand each other, I can simply clarify my order for Special ADA Cosgrove that those claimed to be privileged communications will be excluded from the Rule 17 production.
I saw this when it happened live.
If that's not the case, I'd like to hear why.
Sure. May I?
Like,
Yes,
explain yourself. He's walking up to the podium thinking, what am I going to say?
I think there are two separate issues regarding privilege. One is whether Mr. Kearney's attorneys, Mr. Betterow and Mr. Bradel, have privileged communications, and separately, Ms. Reed's attorneys' communications with Mr. Kearney. When Your Honor asked the question, I believe we were referring to Mr. Kearney's attorney. And so what I understood from the motion filings is that there were no privileged communications between Mr. Kearney and his attorney in those phones. And so there would be nothing privileged to protect.
Okay, I specifically asked, does this include communications between Mr. Kearney and counsel for the defendant, Reed?
I don't doubt that you asked that if that was what happened, but that wasn't my answer to the question because perhaps I was focused more on Mr. Kearney.
So you confirmed today.
Is this the video with the boss move?
Or I misunderstood.
What's
I'll
that?
take responsibility for it.
When they come walking in like a boss.
No.
Oh.
His attorneys, Mr. Brado, Mr. Bedero.
It's a good one, though.
Well, we all agreed, counsel, that those in fact would be privileged communications.
See how he shuts him down?
So let's turn to, if you would, the second issue, which is one that you raised in your affidavit. You specifically raised that question in your affidavit, docket 547.
Undoubtedly. I do not believe there is any attorney-client privilege between Ms. Reed's lawyers and Mr. Kearney, because those communications are not covered by attorney-client privilege because none of Ms. Reed's lawyers are attorneys for Mr. Kearney. I pointed out that in an earlier hearing, and I have the transcript of it, it was December 17, 2024, when there was litigation in Mr. Kearney's case, docket 0313, that there was a position taken by Attorney Bradel. And he began by telling Judge Krupp, well, there's a joint defense issue, Your Honor. And Judge Krupp asked, so it would predate any jeopardy to Mr. Kearney. And then Mr. Bradel responded, well, it's a little more complicated because we know he was under investigation.
Well, the fact his face is red and his speech is stuttering because he's nervous.
That does not fall under the umbrella. After more questions by the court, Mr. Bradel answered, we don't have an agreement, but there's been an ongoing long-term implicit mutual assistance and mutual defense that I myself have been part of for a long time, and Attorney Bedero has as well. And Judge Krupp said, I really have no idea what that is. And so inevitably, there was no establishment of an attorney-client relationship between the two. Inevitably, and after that, Attorney Bedero attempted to
we have to put it inevitably on the bingo card.
In that
We do. I worked on them some last night. I'll have them done today.
I've got some suggestions.
Okay, please send them to me.
Docket 549 contains Attorney Yanetti's sworn.
Anyway, I just thought I'd show you the comparison between the two. That, you know, he's got complete control.
She looked at him with utter disgust when his lawyer or when her lawyers come walking in. She looked at him like,
yeah, because did you hear what he said to her?
No, he said something to her.
Yes, yeah. He basically said, "Oh, this is a hearing between Mr. Kearney and his counsel," and he was sitting at that table where they were sitting.
She looked at him like,
yeah. In other words, you can't sit there because that seat's taken, type of thing.
She looked at him like he physically made her ill.
Oh, he does. But yeah. So there you go.
That was a good reminder of how unbiased judges act. Thank you for that.
And that know what they're doing and take control of the courtroom and not let bullshit come in or out. That was great. It was great.
Yeah,
right.
It was.
I
have to run. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to end it with a quick message back to Bri again. That's it.
This is Bri wears wedding jewels, so I don't get a copyright strike. Congratulations, they're all out.
Congratulations, Bri. Bear.
Have a wicked ass day, and I want pictures. And that was your tune, so I don't get a copyright strike.
Peggy said something to Turtle Boy then? Really?
Who's Peggy? Who's Peggy?
Isn't Peggy John's mother?
Oh, Peggy, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Anywho.
Thank you, guys.
That's us for now. We will see you Tuesday when it all begins, or it all continues, or the shit hits the fan, or something to that effect.
No, definitely hit the fan Tuesday.
I'm a bit apprehensive about it, I must say. But yeah.
I think it'll be fine. It will be okay.
I hope so. I hope so. Anywho,
and I understand why you feel that way. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan.
No.
I'm not. I'm not. I just think that he brought it to the forefront, and I just kind of applaud him for that.
Initially, at the very beginning, I think, yes, he did point out some stuff, but I don't agree with any of his actions or anything like that.
No, he went way too far.
And it's gotten to the point where I think either the power or the attention has gone to the head, and I'm not interested in that.
That's the name of the ceiling fan? Ceiling
Dion.
That's hilarious.
All right, so Tuesday, Teresia, what is it? TTFT. Bring it, Massachusetts. And until next time.
Watch out for their koalas. They look cute, but they will claw your eyes out.
Until next time, stay the fuck away from Hank Brett in America. See you Tuesday.
It's been 12 months since I quit, and so much has passed us by. Such as tampering with evidence and some blatant flat-out lies. I bet he wears those silky undies, the ones with that chain made of lace. So you can bring in Massachusetts, 'cause